Good morning. Welcome back to Bookeemonsters. My name is PK. It is Wednesday, October the 15th, halfway through October already. Hope you're having a good morning, even though we're just getting started. Quick announcements. I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow evening, Thursday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern. They go for 2 hours. We do every Tuesday and Thursday evenings and Saturday afternoons at 3 p.m. on Saturdays for 5 hours. Today we are looking at the new releases that are the darker side, the crime fiction and thrillers. Excuse me. You Will Never See Me by Jake Hinkson. No one knows that Alice Hardy is alone and walking the dark streets of Chicago after leaving her lover's apartment. So when a man drags her into an alley at knife point, she knows nobody will come to her rescue. Forced into a fight for survival, Alice leaves the man desperately wounded by his own knife and flees with her life. When Alice tells her lover and they rush back to the alley, the ground is bare. There is no wounded attacker. There is no body. There is no blood. There is no knife. There is nothing to report to the police. But unbeknownst to Alice, one other person knows what happened in the alley. Owen Paul, a private detective slumming it with unsavory divorce work. Hired to tail a possibly straying husband, Owen followed the man to the alley and witnessed the thwarted assault and saved the man's life. Jake Hinkson weaves a noirish tale of blah blah blah. Save the man's life who was attacking a woman? I think they've got it skewed. Good afternoon, Helen. How is it over there? How's your day going? You're what, still 7 hours ahead? We Had a Hunch by Tom Ryan, at least from me in Mountain Time Zone. This says, Nancy Drew meets Yellow Jackets. Author asks a simple question: what happens to your favorite teenage detectives when they grow up? Few stories captured the public's imagination in the year 2000 like the friendly rivalry between the teen detectives of Edgar Mills, Massachusetts. Twin sisters Alice and Samantha Van Dyne were thrust into the spotlight when they helped their father, Sheriff Bill Van Dyne, bust a dangerous drug smuggling ring. Across town, bookish Joey O'Day proved himself to be a talented investigator of a different sort when he used his computer skills to expose an online grifter preying on elderly victims. As the two sets of teen sleuths began jockeying to outdo each other, they became a sensation, appearing on talk shows and the covers of teen magazines. But when a brutal series of murders rocked Edgar Mills, a deadly miscalculation on the part of the Van Dyne twins led to the shocking and gruesome deaths of both their father and Alice's boyfriend. The killer, Bruce Philip Kershaw, better known as the Janitor, was ultimately captured, but both Edgar Mills and their beloved teen detectives would never be the same. It's been a quarter century since the Janitor terrorized Edgar Mills, and the teen detectives have grown up. Samantha and Joey have scattered, Sam to Los Angeles and a life as a B-list reality TV star, and Joey to a lucrative tech career in Boston. Alice, on the other hand, still lives in Edgar Mills, rooted by her guilt and heartbreak. When Edgar Mills is shaken by a new murder that matches the janitor's M.O., Kershaw offers from his maximum security prison cell to provide information that could help crack this new case. The catch? He'll only talk to the teen detectives that put him away. Now look at that cover. That would not be a cover that attracted me. But the premise kind of does, so I will investigate that further. Having a good day? Good. Good thing, she says. Tokyo Express by Saiko Matsumoto, translator Jesse Kirkwood. In a rocky cove at Hakata Bay, the bodies of a young and beautiful couple are discovered. Standing on the cold beach, the police see nothing to investigate. The flush of the couple's cheeks in the empty juice bottle speaks clearly of cyanide, of a lover's suicide. But in the eyes of two men, Senior Detective Toragai Jutaro and Kiichi Mahara, a young gun from Tokyo, something is not quite right. Together they begin to pick at the knot of a unique and calculated crime. Apologize, my cold is not leaving quickly. The Tarot Reader by Finley Turner. 25-year-old Jade Crawford spends her days selling crystals, conducting seances, and reading tarot cards in her shop in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. But her connection to the other side is all a facade. After losing their mother to a terrible accident and their father serving jail time, Jade and her younger sister, Stevie, do what they can to survive. When a local politician goes missing, Jade sees a lucrative opportunity to drum up new clients and inject some much-needed cash into their pockets. Jade submits a psychic vision to the police tip line only to discover that her shot in the dark is chillingly accurate when the police find the politician's body. Caught in a media whirlwind, Jade revels in her newfound popularity and success, but she quickly finds herself the target of not only a police investigation, but of a killer who is still on the loose. End of that row. The Tourist by Christopher Reich, second in the Mac Decker series. Retired Special Agent Mac Decker travels to Paris to propose to Ava Attal, once Mossad's deadliest operative. After too long, life is good. But before he can propose, Ava leaves the table to take an urgent call and never returns. Mac launches a frantic search, spiraling through the city's brightest and darkest places. People are lying, agents are dying, and he finds himself caught in the crosshairs of CIA shadows and enigmatic drinking game. We haven't had that for a while. Assassins, while battling a wealthy, ruthless prince planning a truly terrifying act of violence. With only hours to find Ava and save thousands of lives, Mac's CIA training kicks in, along with his instincts. Is Ava truly missing, or did she come to Paris on a mission even more secretive than his own? Excuse me. I could almost, you could insert like Tony and Ziva on that. Just saying. If you wanted to put some actors in there. Gail Bowen has a new one. The Solitary Friend. 23rd, good for her, in the Joanne Kilbourne mystery series. Amateur sleuth Joanne Shreve finds herself caught in the middle when her friend Vera Wong, the owner of a discreet escort service, the Right Woman, calls in a favor. Howard Dalhanwick, another longtime friend of Joanne's and the former premier of Saskatchewan, has been a loyal client for years. That is, until he started badgering Vera's employees, trying to discourage them from performing their meaningless work. Given his recent verbal attacks against any and all opponents on his podcast, Joanne knows his erratic behavior must be part of a larger issue. Can Joanne talk Howard down and make him see sense before he goes too far? To complicate matters, scandalous photos with threatening demands begin targeting Joanne's friends. With her loved ones' happiness and possibly their very lives at stake, she must race to find the source of the mysterious messages before they make good on their menacing ultimatum. Slight hesitation there because the word must did not have the M. Somebody did not proofread. And somehow the word ust got through. The Rebel Son by Andy Maslin, 5th in the Detective Cat Ballantyne series. A bomb threat at Middlehampton's powerhouse music venue sends DS Cat Ballantyne spiraling into a nightmare. Her husband and son are inside. As the city reels in terror, Cat fights to keep her family safe while being pulled into another deadly case that might well be connected. ... A journalist investigating a controversial football club takeover makes a chilling 999 call before collapsing. Hours later, he's dead. His apparent murder marks the beginning of a dangerous trail of corruption leading to a foreign royal family. Or is the killer closer to home? With a murder to solve, a terrorist plot unfolding, and rival agencies vying for supremacy, Cat must untangle the truth before it's too late. Justice always comes at a price, and this time it could cost her everything. James Patterson has a new one, in collaboration with Howard Ruin. This is called The Picasso Heist. A $100 million painting, a previously unknown Picasso, is discovered in the attic of a French villa. Oh, this sounds perfect for like Garbogist. Everyone wants to possess it. Filthy rich Manhattan art people, organized crime bosses, power-hungry government officials, a notorious forger, a glamorous 22-year-old art thief. Only one person knows how to take it. She's the rival none of the power players see coming. Ooh. I'm going to have to put that in. Yep, I'm going to. Before I forget, I'm going to put it into Garbogist. Yes, Garbogist is quite a ways away. Actually, there's a midway Garbogist, so maybe that'll be a good one for that. End of that row. The Othello Club by J.D. Pennington. 6 divorcees seek revenge on their deceitful spouses, but someone starts taking it much too far. ... Emily had the perfect life, the perfect job, the perfect house, the perfect husband, before she was blindsided and betrayed and lost it all. Now she's sitting in a divorce counseling group wondering how she'll ever feel okay again. What she wants is her old life back, and these group sessions seem to be the only way she'll be able to move on, past the jealousy, the hurt, and the daydreams of getting revenge. And it seems everyone in the group is in the same boat, jilted by an ex-partner and struggling to cope. So, over post-therapy drinks, the 6 divorcees come up with a brilliant idea to get a little payback of their own. Strangers on a train style, with each getting even on another's behalf. Nothing serious, just enough to disrupt their former partner's picture-perfect lives. Emily is hesitant at first, but the more her old life spins away from her, the less she worries about her morals. Plus, they agreed no one would get hurt. But just when the group think they've pulled off the perfect petty crimes, one of the exes is found dead, and then another, and then another. With D.I. Rosa Hawks on their case and the plan spiraling out of control, Emily doesn't know who she can trust, and if divorce taught her anything, it's that you can't trust anyone, even the people you love, especially the people you love, let alone perfect strangers like these. Well, you kind of knew Strangers on a Train would come up. I can't get away from that one. The Lines by Matt Brawley, first in the D.S. Liam Kilshaw series. For D.S. Liam Kilshaw, a former Marine who almost died on a mission gone wrong, returning to the sea was meant to help combat his PTSD. But when he's called out with the lifeboat crew off the rugged Cornish coast at night, the dark danger of the waves comes crashing back. The body of a young man is floating in the water, and the zip tie marks on his wrists show this is no tragic drowning, it's murder. It's not the first suspicious death to shock the tight-knit community. The identical discovery of a young woman with connections to a county lines drugs gang. That's just anyway, leads Kilshaw to suspect the killings must be linked, but as the brooding Cornish coast and whispered local rumors fold darkly around him, he starts to feel he can't trust the water or anyone in town. As the bodies keep coming, he must confront a sinister gangland underworld as well as his own demons, before tragedy strikes even closer to home. Kelly Armstrong has a new one. This is a standalone, it looks like. The Haunting of Payne's Hollow. When Samantha Payne's grandfather dies, she figures she won't even get a mention in the will. After all, she hasn't seen him in 14 years, not since her father took his own life after being accused of murdering a child at their lakefront cottage. Her grandfather always insisted her father was innocent, despite Sam having caught him burying the child's body, his clothing streaked with blood. But when she does attend the reading of the will at the behest of her aunt, she discovers that her grandfather left her the very valuable lakefront property where the family cottage sits. There's one catch. Sam needs to stay in the cottage for a month to finally face the fact she was wrong and her father was innocent in her grandfather's words. Traveling to Payne's Hollow, Sam is faced with the realities of her childhood and the secrets kept hidden in the shadows of her memory. When her aunt goes missing a couple days into their stay, Sam begins to question everything again. Plagued by nightmares and paranoia, she begins hearing sounds in the forest and seeing shapes crawling from the water, as the rippling waves of the lake promise something unspeakably dark lurking just below their surface. Okay, that's verging on spooky. Stephen Hunter has a new one. Oh, it's a Western. The Gunman Jackson Swagger. There we go. Sorry, internet blip. Man, we had 3 lightning strikes last night. I've never heard it like that before. It was freaky. In the frying pan of drought-scorched 1890s Southwest, an old man shows up at the region's only prosperous spread, the Callahan Ranch, seeking work. Jack is flinty, shrewd, tough, and a natural with a gun. As an incentive to be taken on at his age, he shows the foreman an uncanny skill with one of Mr. Winchester's latest models. He knows a sharpshooter would be valuable to Colonel Callahan and head gunman Tom Voth. But he has his own mission. Aware that a young cowboy on the ranch has died mysteriously, Jack begins to investigate. He soon realizes that the death and the source of the Callahan wealth are dangerously entwined, and that many of the dark forces of the American West are at play on the ranch. Soon enough, it's the season of the 6-gun and the fastest shootist. Well, you can just picture Clint Eastwood in that one. End of that row. Oh, we have too many. We're going to have to do drive-bys. Which is too bad, because I was being interested in some of these. The Gallery Assistant by Kate Belly follows a New York art gallery assistant reckoning with her past and now trapped in the web of deceit after an up-and-coming painter is murdered. Tim Rubin has a new one, Tequila. An empire built on tequila, a family torn apart by greed and betrayal, a lawyer caught in a deadly web of cartels, corruption, and forbidden love. Peace, Love, and Hate, as in San Francisco. Max Talley is the author. When San Francisco gallery owner Freddie Dorn gets rid of the city's most ruthless drug dealer in the summer of '69, he becomes an unlikely player in a deadly game, hunted by the mafia, courted by the cops, and risking everything if his hippie friends learn the truth. I think somebody really wanted that title, so they wrote a book around it. One Killer Night, first in the To Die For series by Trilina Pucci. This is a sexy slasher filled with dark family secrets, classic horror tropes, and banter as sharp as a deranged killer's knife. End of that row. Murder Two Doors Down by Chuck Storla. Lightning Strikes Twice, third in the Gage Files by Dale M. Nelson. Another collaboration, Harlan Coben, very big in the thriller world, in collaboration with Reese Witherspoon, Gone Before Goodbye. Extremity by Michael Binge. Oh, there's a good author name. A time-traveling, end-of-the-world police procedural. Extremity is that title, if I didn't say it. Lee Goldberg has a new one. He's a longtime author. Sixth in the Eve Ronin series. This is called Fallen Star. Boomtown by Nick Stone. This is Gone Girl meets P-Valley. Don't know what P-Valley is. When you reference another thing and you don't know what it is, that's not very good marketing. Bone Chilling by Sarah E. Johnson. Sixth in the Alexa Glock Forensics Mysteries. Her last name is Glock. Wow, isn't that convenient? Blood Rival by Jake Arnott. Looks like it's set in the UK. Last one. Bog Queen by Anna North. Also set in England. Well, sorry, I mean, it's good that there were so many that we had to do drive-bys. Hopefully, if anything kind of looked interesting to you, you can maybe check them out further. I know I'm going to be, perhaps the Othello Club. That was kind of interesting. Definitely we had a hunch. I mean, look at that cover. It is just not enticing at all, but I liked the concept of it. So, that is it for today. On Friday, we'll look at the rest of the Cozy Mysteries. And, because there's always a lot of those. Other announcements, I don't have any sprints tonight. I don't do them on Wednesday night. Our next sprints are tomorrow night, Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for 2 hours. Hope you have a good rest of your day. If I don't see you, have a good rest of your week. Appreciate you stopping by. And, as the banner is about to say, don't be a bookworm, be a bookie monster. Om nom nom. Have a good day and God bless.